Number 18, speak in order to encourage. Acts 9:27. Then Barnabas brought him to the apostles and told them how Saul had seen the Lord on the way to Damascus and how the Lord had spoken to Saul. He also told them that Saul had preached boldly in the name of Jesus in Damascus. We're first introduced to Barnabas in Acts 4:36. And we find out that his name isn't actually Barnabas, it's Joseph. Barnabas is his nickname, and it literally means son of encouragement. Because see, Barnabas lived as a door opener. He put his own life on the line, and he took the risk to communicate on behalf of others who were not trusted or respected by the majority of his peers. The first time we see this happen is with Peter's case. So you can imagine the startup of the church, numbers are growing. He's a fisherman. He's never handled the logistics of an operation this size. He's a new leader in unfamiliar circumstances, and there are lots of needs, and lots of reasons why he should be discouraged and pushed to a side. And Barnabas has like all the credentials that Peter doesn't have. Peter doesn't have a religious background. Barnabas is a Levite. He's been trained. He comes from a very wealthy family. He's got the social and the economic and religious credentials. And he doesn't say, Peter, move over. I can do this job better than you. He goes and sells his own property and puts all the money to support Peter. Now, this action is one of the best communication exercises in the Bible. Actions often speak louder than words. And because he came and supported the leadership, instead of challenging them, saying, hey, you guys don't understand how to do this, stand aside, I'll take over. He cast his lot in with them. He supported them. That was huge. What if Barnabas hadn't done that at that moment? Peter had just come out of jail. There was a lot of questioning of what was going on in Jerusalem. He was probably very insecure at that point, and Barnabas helped him become the leader that he came to be. We see later that Barnabas goes and finds Saul when everyone had been afraid of Saul because he had been a persecutor of the church, and he brings him to Damascus, and he brings him to the leaders in the church in Jerusalem, and he speaks to them about how this man is trustworthy. You can imagine they would have been afraid. Do we trust this guy? Is he just feigning conversion so he can get into our inner circle and then take us all captive and kill us like he's killed others in the previous life? And Barnabas risks his reputation and puts his life on the line to champion Paul, like he done with Peter. And now just think about this. These are become the two most prominent leaders of the New Testament church, Peter and Paul. And both of them in a moment when the church might have considered, I don't know about them. Barnabas comes in and does actions that really encourage them in very concrete ways, not just nice words, but costly things that put his life on the line. If he had been wrong about Paul, he would have ended up in prison or in a tomb himself. So he was there at decisive moments in the leadership development. So then think about this. Peter is either directly or indirectly responsible for 3 books in the New Testament. The 2 letters that he writes, plus Mark, which is really Mark's account of Peter's testimony. Is the Gospel of Peter as retold by Mark, is how it's often understood. And Paul, he's responsible for 15 books, directly and indirectly. So the 13 letters he writes, plus Luke and Acts, which his disciple Luke authors. And he wouldn't have been in that position to write those if it had not been for his association with Paul. So between Peter's 3 and Peter and Mark's 3 and Paul and Luke's 15, that's 18 of 27 books. 2/3 of the New Testament are written by these 2 individuals and their immediate disciples who might not have thrived into their role, have grown into their role of leadership, had Barnabas not come and been a champion, a door opener, an encourager, at a key moment in their lives. There's so much power in encouragement, so much power in coming alongside someone else and saying, I believe in you. God's hand is on you. You can do this. I am with you. And willing to, give up your land, perhaps give up your life in order to back up your words with real profound actions. Good communication really encourages and shapes history.